Well, hello everybody. Sure you guys can hear me. Welcome to Pause Talk Live. If the music's too loud, let me know. It doesn't sound very loud in my headset, so I can't tell at the moment. Let me get my little drinks. Go. Hi, I'm hiding up here. I'm actually going to come sit down in a second. We're going to be cutting out pieces. I purchased a pattern for a hammer that I'm making for an upcoming competition, and I figured I'll show you guys some of the beginning of this, because once we get into the advanced portions of this outfit, I will not be able to share it because I'm not allowed to share a lot of the advanced stuff for the costume as I'm competing hopefully at WonderCon. But I am making this. This pattern was purchased from Butterline House. You can find them, I think, on Instagram and Etsy and a couple other places. There's a little pattern that they give you, and it has places you have to tape together. So Thermo Sidekick Mouse and Jinx Cosplay helped me cut them out a little while ago. So now I need to get them out of foam. And I figured I would go ahead and do that today with all of you, see how cutting out foam goes. I have a cardboard box here because I don't want to damage my flooring. It's a very important thing. Make sure you get a cardboard box. I have little holes in my socks, just ignore them. I need to fix some of my socks. It's unfortunate. But I have bits and pieces here of foam. I have 10mm foam. Behind that I have 18mm foam, which is really difficult to cut. I will probably do that off camera because I think I'm going to need to use a hot knife, which means I'll need to open my room, wear a mask, fully ventilate. Anytime you're cutting with a hot knife or some kind of a heated element, you want to make sure that you're ventilating the space that you're in. I also have 4mm foam, 6mm foam, more 6mm, and some 2mm foam. Most of this, like 75% of this, will end up in the hammer that I am trying to create. So let's go ahead and get started. I figured I'd get started with some of the... Wait, is this a really thick one? This is 10mm. Let's start with some of the ones that are a little bit easier first, so you don't see me struggling, and then I'll show you guys some of them. But these have instructions on them too. It's really nice. So on the inside of them, it tells you what type of foam you need to use and how many pieces you will need to cut. So these just did not fit in the envelope that I had for them, therefore they were separated. I have an envelope with all the other pieces in it. And there are many pieces in here. This is a very involved hammer, which I'm honestly hoping to at least have glued together and put together by tomorrow evening, maybe even by this evening when I get to focus on working on something. It usually goes pretty well. And I do need to have this complete so that I can at least get the base cut out for my outfit, the white jacket that I'm making, and put that all together too. So many pieces, sorry. Anything else in here? I got it all. Okay. Hope you guys are having a good Saturday. And for those of you that are celebrating Valentine's, I hope you have a good Valentine's. Vault tech. You gotta get your drinks. Okay. Let's break this up by foam size. So this is all 10mm foam. And then this is 5mm foam core. And that's more 5mm. What are you? You are 10mm, so you'll need to go in with this collection here. And then more 5mm. So breaking this up will help me figure out how many pieces I need to cut from all of the areas here. 4mm. 5mm, and the 5mm, so I could not find 5mm foam, so I am going to use 6mm. I do think This particular maker is not based in the US, so I do think that maybe they have 5mm foam, but I was having a hard time finding it. 6mm is fine. I have checked on it. People have said that they've used 6mm instead, so that's what I'll be using instead of the 5mm. But I do have 4mm. Okay, this is 5. This is 5. 5. Getting all the little pieces. This cool little gear. Cutting this looks cool. Cutting this is going to be a nightmare. Like, it's not going to be fun. It's not here. And of course, the thickest ones are the ones I have. So this is 30mm, which means I'm going to take the 10mm and cut out 3 of them. And then there are actually little gears here too that did not get cut out. I think someone forgot to do that. That's okay. I will just cut them out once I trace this onto the foam. But this is 10mm times 3. Okay, so I put that one there. And that one's 20mm, so more 10mm foam. I don't think... Actually, you know what? The 18mm would probably be fine for this. Where's the 30? Yeah, I think these two should both be the 18mm foam. That's 2mm. More 10mm. And some of these say there's only one piece that needs to be cut, some say it has more than that. This is 10mm. And some of these have the white still attached to them, so I knew the sizing, but I will take the white piece off once I start cutting out the foam. I need to go grab some scissors, so I might need to run away for a second and grab some scissors. It's so tiny! It's the tiniest little gear! They want me to cut this out of 10mm? It's so little. I think I'm gonna have to cut this out of... I guess I can give it a shot. I'm gonna have to probably cut this with a hot knife. Yeah, like I said, there are some of these that I will have to use a hot knife to cut, just because there's no way for me to successfully cut it and get all the detail that it has in it. A hot knife is essentially, there are 2 different types of hot knives. There's hot knives that are like these long, it looks kind of like a saw, and it has a wire that's heated and you can cut with that. That's usually used for like styrofoam. And then for foam, like HD foam, which I have here, you're going to see, I think I need to adjust my camera and get it to focus. I might have to, you guys let me know if it's moving and annoying you, I can probably do that. But the hot knife for HD foam or high density foam is typically it's an X-Acto blade that gets heated up and you can carve through a surface. But because it causes the release of hydrochloric gas, I think. I'm not completely convinced. I can't remember. But it does release a toxic gas, so in order to do that, I'd have to go in a well-ventilated space. So I would cut those in my kitchen where I've got tiles, so that if it cuts through, it can't harm anything. And I do it next to like the patio door, along with having a mask on. So just be careful when you're cutting anything with a hot knife. 5mm. I see some. I'm gonna come up there and see the comments in a second. I just need to go get scissors anyway, so I will come see who's saying hello. I think it's Jinx. I think Jinx is saying hello. My phone's charging over there because I forgot to charge it today. I was like, oh wow. 24mm foam. Oh, okay. It wants me to use 6mm pieces. Got it. Totally. And then 5mm. Thankfully, some of these, they're like, yeah, we know that you can't find this size of foam, so here, do this instead. Like, okay, cool, I can do that. 2mm, 5mm, 5mm, and 5mm. Okay, I've got it all divided into the pieces, so let's start with the thinnest foam first. That would be the 2mm foam. So we'll start with that. These two are going to be the 18, so these are the ones that are going to be the most difficult to cut. I need to make a note on that. 18 millimeter. 18. Okay, 18. Okay, that way I know those ones over there. I stabbed myself with the pen. No! Okay, and then this would be the second largest. This goes here, this goes here. This would be the third largest, which has the most, because of course 5mm always has a ton. The one single solo 4mm by itself. I think I bought too much 4mm foam, which is okay. I mean, having extra does not hurt. There's some pieces of this 5mm that I might make 4mm. And then this is the 2mm, so. I do need to get a pair of scissors. Hi, Jean! My head is gone! You can't see my head. You mostly want to see the floor anyways, right? So, turn off camera. Can I turn off the mirror? And then I want to see if I can get it to... let's see if I can keep it from, like, zooming in and out, but we'll find out. So I've run away into an entirely different room. Oh wait, no, I forgot. Hey, I just moved all the stuff into this room, and I'm so used to going to the other room that I forgot all my scissors are in here now. So if you see me keep running around going, ah, it's just because I'm not used to where all my things are in my space yet. I will get used to it eventually, but I am still adjusting. Where's my... I think it was one of these. Yeah. Okay. 14 scissors. And then I also have, aside from scissors, a fair number of cutting implements. My favorite is this one, because I can screw this and then it goes in and out in the appropriate amount. This one's so dirty. Okay, so let's go foam core. This you can cut with scissors. So we'll go with the 2mm foam. And since there's so little of this black left, we'll use that. Some of this is scraps. All of my foam I got from Cosplay Pros. It's based in Happy Valley, Arizona, and yeah. So I see someone posted something. I need to get my phone so I can actually see your comments. Yeah, wild scissors appear. I need to move my phone charger so that I can actually see your comments. So I don't have to keep running up and down to understand what you guys are saying. Oh, I didn't... Oh no! Is this charged enough? Let me see. Oh, it's charged enough now, so we're good. Okay. We are good. Let me join the chat so I can actually see what you guys are saying. That would be smart, right? Just run around. Okay, I'm gonna turn this off. Mute my media volume. Now I can see what you guys are saying. Okay, wild scissors appear. True. Alright, phone, you can go here, and I'm going to zoom in on the chat so that I can see what you guys say. It might time out occasionally, but that's alright. It looks like it's showing, everything's showing up pretty well. The camera's doing pretty well, so that's a good thing. That's the most important thing here. I wanted you guys to be able to see what I was actually doing. Alright. So I'm going to use a silver marker. And this is, let me double check the little map I have here. So for this tiny rectangle, where are you, my tiny rectangle friend? Oh, there's so many rectangles in here. This is the core layer 2mm foam core. Why am I not seeing this on this list? Core layer 2mm EVA foam. Just to cut the proper size. Core layer 2mm EVA foam. This map is nice and complicated. Oh, there it is. Okay. Just one. Okay. It was very nice because when he set it up to show you how like 8 by 11 pieces will show it, and then I was able to tape it, and like it was just very nice to be able to print this on a standard printer, because there are times when you do something with cosplay and it just is not. Oh my gosh, this Sharpie is stinky. Ugh. I don't like how the Sharpie smells. This is terrible. I forgot how much I don't like the smell of Sharpies. Okay. It's okay, Thermo. You can do it. Oh, stinky Sharpie. Sticky Sharpie. Alright. 2mm foam. Just in case it gets separated, I do like to sometimes use like accidentally separate things. Forget my scissors. And so if it gets separated, I always recommend writing on the foam. I will attach. I should have bought a bunch of. It would have been smart if I had a bunch of paper clips. With 2mm foam, you can usually cut it with a really sharp pair of scissors. I have a scissor sharpener for these. One pair of these I use for my foam, and one pair of these I use for like foam and paper, and one pair for fabric. And with this, the sharpener helps considerably. Not as I should have. You can also cut 4mm foam with scissors. Like I said, they need to be incredibly sharp. Once you get a little bit higher than that, let me get a little piece of tape. I think I'm just going to start taping these together so that they don't lose their friends. And then I might have to buy some more tape today, but that's okay. So once you get above 4mm, cutting out foam with scissors gets incredibly difficult. Alright. One foam piece cut. One tiny little foam piece. Let's see here. EVA foam. So EVA foam is like a nickname. It's actually HD foam, high density foam. EVA foam is kind of what the cosplay community has been calling it for a while. And then, yeah, the numbered instruction set has been helping me with that. So I do have a numbered instruction set. But EVA foam, I'm trying to remember. Hang on a second. I actually have. It is what is the ethylene vinyl acetate. And it's a foam that's been frequently used by the cosplay community, but there is a difference. So there's low density and high density EVA foam. Low density is typically what you're gonna find at like craft stores and those little colorful sheets, where they're just like 8 by 11 or 4 by 6 sheets. Whereas HD foam typically comes in large rolls. They do in craft stores sometimes sell the low density foam. Low density foam is not as durable and it off-gases a lot more. HD foam that's high density has had more of the gases concentrated and has created this firmer structure. And so when you heat it up, it doesn't off-gas as much. It also lasts longer, but it does tend to soak up more heat. So you do need to prime it properly or you'll run into problems. Yeah, who wants to pronounce the ethylene, the long? So that's why I just, like, I have HD foam. All of this is high density EVA foam. But I do still have some low density. So, like, this feels buttery smooth. That's kind of how you know that it's high density foam. When you're touching low density foam, it has this weird texture. I don't know. It kind of reminds me of, like, you know, when you heat felt and you kind of get that smooth, a little bit rough texture. That's what low density EVA foam sort of reminds me of. Okay, just long with this way now, and then go this way. You know that strip might be enough. I trying to be mindful about how I'm using my phone too. Okay, stinky Sharpie again. But hope you guys are having a good Saturday. Thank you all for joining. Yeah, so EVA is much easier than ethylene acetate. Whatever. Ethylene vinyl acetate? Is that what I said? Ethylene vinyl acetate? Something like, yeah. I think that's what it was. I've been calling it EVA for so long that I did forget, so thank you for reminding me, because if I went to a convention and was giving a presentation, a panel, and someone's like, well, what's that? Hang on, let me look it up on the foam that I actually do all my presentations on, which is not a good look. But now the question is, will I remember that by the time I get to a convention where I'm talking about foam? I have no idea. Okay. And then this is 2 foam core. And this one has little circles that I think I'm probably going to have to introduce into the foam, but I'm going to do it later. Just because I actually think some of the little circles I have here might be what goes on that. And I have instructions and this tells me where to put everything, but get there. And with foam, once you've cut it, there's really, like, some products, once you've cut it, you can fix it. With foam, once you've cut it, that's it. That is its shape now. So if you mess up, you've got to retrace and start over. Just be very slow and methodical with your cuts. If you're cutting through thicker foam, I have actually a metal ruler for later. I always recommend using a metal ruler to help line your cut up against it, so that way you hopefully don't mess up your cut. Because again, messing up your cut is really the worst. It sucks. It makes life so much harder. You want to keep it as clean as possible. Okay, tape this together. Alright, the 2mm are down, so let's go ahead. What was the next one I need to do? The 4mm. Alright, come here, beefy boy. This is 4mm. This one kind of has the thickness of, like, a couple credit cards put together. You should still be able to... I do want to do this way. Okay. I've been working with this so long that I like how the texture feels a certain direction. Sounds kind of weird. How many of these do I need to cut out? 4 of them. Okay, well. Once I'm done with this, I'll need to rewrite what the... Alright, so I'm going to try and get this lined up along this edge as nicely as possible. I keep choosing dark foam first. The foam that makes me use the stinky marker. Why am I torturing myself with this stinky marker? I don't know. And then once I cut out one with the foam, I tend to trace with the foam through the paper because it's so much easier. And this is very time consuming. Like, most people are like, oh, I wanna make this. Okay, cool, exciting. Making stuff is so much fun, don't get me wrong. But it's the pattern and the cutting that typically ends up breaking people, because they're just ready to start making already and they don't want to keep tracing and doing things, but you don't have much of a choice. You gotta get through it. If you're cutting, so let's see here, if you're cutting multiple segments of identical sizes, is it worthwhile folding the foam? No, do not fold the foam. So the problem with high density foam, because it's so thick and has so much bounce back, if you fold the foam, and you try to cut through it, it will absolutely mess up the shape. Now what you could do is you could cut this and layer it, but for 4mm, you can't cut through scissors after 4mm. So to make it 8mm, if I doubled it up, I would not be able to use my scissors to cut it. If it was 2mm foam, then yes, I could double it and still cut through it because it's 4mm, but do not fold it in half. I made that mistake early on when crafting, and I just went through more foam than I cared to because I messed up thinking I could expedite my cutting processes. There is unfortunately no way to expedite your cutting process unless I say you have some kind of a wood cutting implement, and even then you need to be careful because this foam can tear if you put too much pressure on it, and trust me, you don't want to use it once it's torn, unless you really want kind of a messed up look. But then again, you are affecting how stable it is. So I'm just gonna carefully cut this because this is already pretty thick for my scissors to cut through. Essentially, 4mm foam is like trying to cut leather with scissors. There are shears for that, and these shears that I have here are actually meant to cut leather, which is why they're doing so well with the foam. But typically, you won't have that same success. Okay, so it's too long there. This is going to be one of those weird ones where I've got to like kind of start rotating the foam. Keep it along the edge so I have a clean edge. Keeping the bottom edge clean is the most important part for this one, as the top and sides actually have a curve, so it's okay. Those are a little different. Yeah, I try to share my experience when I can because I want to save you money so that you don't have to go through the same excruciating pain and waste of product that I have had to in the past. It's not pleasant, it's not fun, it's devastating when you can't do something, and it is, you know, expensive to keep messing up. So if I can help someone avoid messing up and losing money, then I will try my very best to do so. This marker smells like trash. I don't like the way the marker smells. Like, ugh, gross. Alright, I think if I can cut all the way through here, I can use what's... Yes! Okay, sharp enough to cut through like that. You kind of cut like fabric. Yay! It's not always sharp enough to cut like that. But now it's straight enough for me to use this side too, so I can save them. Not have as many weird scraps. You are going to eventually have weird scraps, and I like to use weird scraps for strapping, or to like help pad some areas if I have to. But you want to try and keep the edges as some people too, when they're drawing the patterns, just because they worry about like messing it up, they'll put push pins in it like you see for fabric. And I've done that in the past, but I find that if I just put a significant amount of pressure overall, it doesn't move, it kind of sticks to itself. Unless my hand's too small, then yes, I move in with some pins or weights, pattern weights to help keep it in place. Looks like I drew a bunch of like little like necks, like, or I don't know. It just looks weird. I can probably close the stinky marker though. If you liked the smell of the markers too much, the stream would get very, it would be goofy very fast. I do not like the smell of markers at all. Now I have to do the very careful cutting. And it's funny because like on the camera, these pieces look so small, but they're pretty decent size. No, don't escape. And I gotta get a nice curve in here. It's always that one last little bit. Like, also the great thing about HD foam too, if you found that you just kind of goofed up one cut a little bit, like just a little nick, you can glue it back together. Or if you need it to be a little bit longer, if you apply a heat gun to it, you can stretch it a little bit. So it can be manipulated just enough to fix mistakes. So that is not necessarily the case with low density foam, simply because it tears easier. So high density foam is your best friend for that. If you're not overly confident with your cuts, or if you're like me and you have a wrist that likes to shake, you're worried about uneven edges, don't worry. Heat's your best friend for fixing that. All I know is that my hands and my wrists are going to be so tired by tonight. Well, if I have to do like deep breathing to stay calm, because you get a little anxious when you're cutting curves on foam. Like, I can't. Oh, maybe it's just me. Maybe other people don't. I get anxious when cutting curves on foam. All of them are turning out the right size and shape though, so that's a good sign. Because I want them all to be looking good. And shout out to Federline Patterns for creating this pattern so that I didn't have to try and figure out how to make a hammer from scratch. I've done it before with other things, but the timeline on this particular competition is a little tight for me because I didn't start it until a little bit later. But life's been very chaotic for me this year, so I intended to start earlier. We bought all the supplies some time ago, but did not get started until now. I'm not too worried though. I do recommend that if you're one of those people that you know you need a significant amount of time to make something, and you are you want to compete, but you're like, no, I know I need like 3 weeks to do this thing. Don't, or 3 months or 6 months, whatever it is. Don't compete. Like, don't put that pressure on yourself to have time crunch and then be devastated when you don't make it. Just be kind to yourself and compete the next year, or find another event that's later in the year that's local, that's going to be easier for you to meet. I have been making costumes for well over a decade now, so I know what my limits are. I know what I can and cannot do within a certain time frame, and I can absolutely make this within the time frame I have set right now. So, okay, we are done with the 4mm. That moves us to the well, you know what? Why don't we take a look at these crazy big ones, so that I can, because this is a 6mm. So let's go to the 6mm before we go to the 5mm, just because 5mm has a lot. And I've got bits and pieces of 6mm here that I think might fit just fine for this. So I'm going to hear this. Yes, you can hear foam. It's enough hand strength. Don't hurt yourself. Especially since I don't want to use the stinky. I think my scissors can cut through this one. Oh, that's so nice. Okay, usually 6mm I can't cut through, so I can cut through 6mm with this. I don't think I'll be able to cut through 8mm though, because that did require a lot of hand strength to do. Alright, so this is 24mm, but it needs 4 pieces. So I need to cut 4 of these little weird ones. Alright, so let me cut out the actual shape. Because I don't actually have, it's like a little, it's kind of like a little scimitar. I don't know if you guys do little tiny scimitar. Alright, but I need to do 4 6mm pieces. can do it. I can do 4, 6, 9, this curve. Oh, all of this curve. Okay, so I can't put it along an edge. That's okay. Thankfully, I don't have to, like, this Sharpie's not as smelly as the other one, so I will be okay. Oh, come back here. Go back in here. Okay, fine. Then don't stay anything. Okay, so, oops. This is gonna be interesting. I wonder where this goes. And I'm just gonna cut one out with the paper and then do the rest with the foam so that it's all similar size, like I mentioned. Oh man, this is like the day of me getting high off of freaking Sharpie fumes. Ugh. You guys are missing this right now, but my cat is just a little ways over from me, and he's clearly having a good kitty dream because he is snoring so loud right now. It's pretty funny. This thing is so skinny and weird. I'm gonna get black marker all over my hands. Ugh. Oh well. Oh well. What's a girl to do? So these pieces are gonna become. Let me get it. These are gonna become a about 6 foot tall hammer. It's the hammer that Jace uses in the Netflix TV show The Arcane. So it's gonna be that hammer. And then this is just like a rotated picture of it so that if I'm trying to figure out how to line pieces up, I can see it. But this is the hammer it'll become. And then I have guides in here that tell me like where all the pieces go and what they're for. So. Is a lot harder to cut with scissors, so I'm gonna have to go put a lot of pressure in the back of my thumb, but I think I've got it. Okay, and get a curve. So thick. You do it. I might have to sharpen my scissors faster than I thought, though. There goes that little piece. I'm not gonna leave my room after this. Okay. Maybe I can just do them all based off this bottom curve right here. Yeah, that'd be smart. I need to cut how many of these? 3 more of these. Okay. Here. Go here. Go here. There. So much easier to trace it once it's on foam. It's so hard to trace it when it's on paper. Oops. There we go. Get in there. Get in that timeline. Okay, there's one. And then here's almost done with this one. Why am I not switching to my left hand when I know how to draw with my left hand? Oh my gosh, this is so much easier. Why didn't I do this earlier? It's so much easier! Okay, and then... Are you lined up away from me? No, now you are. You guys need me to move the camera a little bit closer, or are you okay where you're at? Or I can move closer if I have to. Or is everything okay where you can see it? Just let me know. There. Alright, so all 4 pieces. Now my hands are covered in glue, but... Not glue, but paint, or whatever. Marker, whatever. One of them things! Okay. There we go. Okay, do you guys line up? Are you good? Are you perfect? Almost. Here, a little bit longer. There. Perfect. Okay. I have to wash my hands with alcohol to get all this stuff off of me. Oh well. There we go. Oh, that didn't cut all the way. Oh, there. Okay. Measure you. Make sure you're perfectly good. Let's see here. Question. Sorry. We need a snoring kitty mic. Yeah, a snoring kitty mic would be a really good idea. They do. I think they do make some scissors for foam. But in my experience, I've not had like much luck with them. You think you should, but oh, sorry, I got something in my nose. But they just the foam scissors I've tried dull way faster than just really sharp fabric scissors that I sharpen. So maybe in the future someone will have better ones, but until that time, I'm just gonna keep using fabric scissors that are dedicated to foam that have been very much sharpened to be able to handle the foam. Okay, so we have all 4 little tiny swords. They're not swords. I don't know what they're going to be a part of. I'm sure I'll figure it out once I actually... They look like kind of like little wings, maybe. Alright. Tape. Tape is going to be my best friend to make sure nothing escapes. Wait. Get on the phone. Thank you. We all need to live together. Okay. I'm just tying my hand. My fingertips are like Agatha all along right now. If they had a lightsaber, oh yeah, if they had a lightsaber for foam cutting, 100%. 100%. Why don't they have a lightsaber for foam cutting? I'm, you know what? Why is this not like little? Yeah, I'm angry. Why don't we have a lightsaber for foam cutting? Like, I'm ready. Okay, so now I have to make little diamonds, kind of little tiny diamonds. And I need to cut 2 pieces of these ones. And this one, oh gosh, it has a curve at the end, and it's so small. This one's gonna be tricky, but I believe in myself. Sometimes. Let's use that for reference. I haven't had to get into the big boy cutting utensils, so I'm sure I'm going to have to do that soon, because I wonder if I can cut a lot of this, since I'm able to cut the oh, you know what, I just realized too I don't have 5mm, so I was going to use 6mm for everything that's over here too. Wow. Or 4mm? Maybe I should use 4mm. Because the 4mm foam is a lot closer to than the 6mm. Okay. Alright. Let's remove these 2 pieces of these little guys. Maybe I can fit these both here, so here, so I don't have to manipulate all of that a bit easier. And I think this is a pretty even line here. So I can take this edge there, and then I'm about to get myself covered in more a lot more Sharpie stuff again. I keep forgetting the lid does not work on the bottom of that one. I mean, I guess 6mm is 20% better, right? Think so? Maybe. I don't. Look, I'm gonna use the 4mm just because I know the pieces that it wants to be 5mm, and they would work better as 4mm. So I'm just gonna do that. Sometimes you have to adapt when you don't have what it's asking for. I looked. I could not find 5mm foam. But high density specifically. Like, you can find low density foam, but again, I really wanted to do high density. So, you know what? Since these two are like right next to each other, I'm just gonna trace both of them. Since this one's not too difficult to trace. Sorry, the music keeps repeating. I'm just using music that's included with StreamYard because I don't want my stream to be taken down for copyright, since YouTube's been real aggressive with that lately. Even when you pay for the licenses, like, I paid for licensed music. I have the license. I've submitted appeals to YouTube saying, no, I own the license for this song. And YouTube's like, well, you can't use it. I'm like, no, I have permission from the artist. Like, I paid for a license to use this music. And they still kept trying to pull it down. I'm like, what's the point in paying for licensed music if YouTube's not going to acknowledge when you paid for licensed music? Lame. So, thankfully, StreamYard gives you just nice, chill music you can listen to, and I appreciate that. Oh, I keep getting foam dust in my nose. This little pieces of foam are like, it's coming out and attacking me. Rude. Now that cut right, mostly, I think. This part's by me. Okay. Those are good. Okay. So, now we just have to cut the big boy. Oof. Alright. Foam dust is as intoxicating as the marker smell? I hope not. So now we get to cut 2 of these. Obviously the most difficult part with cutting these is going to get this nice curve here, which is where I think I might switch from scissors to some of these knives that I have. Where's my flex knife? That's good. So, okay. It's too big. I think it's going to be too big for all these pieces, yeah. So these are too small. This one's laid out. Yeah, I don't fit on this one. Okay. Alright. I have to cut 2 of these. Okay. This is gonna be a tricky one. And I know what part of the hammer this is too. I always thought it was cool, but now I have to cut it out, and now I'm like, it's not cool anymore. It's always cool when you don't have to do anything with it, and then the second you have to do something with it, you're like, okay, that detail of the prop isn't fun anymore. I would like to take my decision to make this prop back. So. You know. Decisions you make and thinking you can do it. You're like, I can do it. I can do it. Sure. sure you can. And I will trace this one again once I've cut it out once. Because I don't want to trace it again with the paper. This paper is tricky to trace out. With Sharpie, use those drums moving. We can do it though. We've already cut out a good chunk of pieces. We, got through the 4mm, and we got through we're almost through the 6mm, and then we're gonna go back to the 5mm. I'm gonna go back to the 4mm for the 5mm because I decided that screw it. I'm not gonna cut all that out in 6mm because it'll be too big. I'd rather it feel like a little bit thinner and too thick, since I know. Okay, ta-da! I have traced. I have a gear. Now I get to cut the gear out. Okay, so we're gonna stretch the legs out here. Take a deep breath, and we're gonna try with the scissors first. But we're gonna do it by cutting the excess off so that it makes it a little bit easier for us. Okay, for me, I keep saying us. I'm including you guys in the process, okay? Because you're inspiring me to not cut this thing, burn it to the ground. Here, we'll just leave this here as inspiration so you know what I'm cutting out. So I'm sure you're like, it doesn't look like she's doing anything. I swear, I am working so hard right now. I am cutting out a piece of foam that is tricky AF to cut. Circle. I'll probably have to hit this with a heat gun to get rid of any little frays I might get as I'm going around this. Okay, ear, why are you ringing? Is it the Sharpie smell? It's the Sharpie smell, isn't it? It's the Sharpie smell. Yeah. My nose is like, why? Why do you do this to me? Okay, so we've got a circle, and now we have to cut out all the little bits of the circle. And it's a pretty good circle, actually, considering that this is very, very thick foam. It doesn't help that I make cutting this look so easy. I just have I have good hand strength. This is not as easy as it looks, I swear. Okay. Yay, it's not the prettiest cutout. Maybe I should just cut this out with... Can you cut this out better? Let's see. No, you're not even cutting into that. Do you need to be sharpened? Let me do the other one. Where's my... Yep, apparently this particular curve is gonna have to use scissors. That sucks. This is gonna be fun. I will have to heat all of this up to make it not look as goofy, which is fine. And I'm gonna be putting Plasti Dip on this, and Plasti Dip takes any imperfections and makes them not look as terrible. So, all that good stuff. I've got one. It's gonna take forever, but it's okay. I have inspiration from all of you. Yeah. It has a lot of gears, so it is very... I feel like Arcane is very much inspired by like steampunk meets modern technology meets all the weird video game logic that you see in the world. And so it is definitely... and I'll probably just take a Dremel to this and make everything look a little bit nicer too. So I have to do this one more time. I want to do this again. that's okay. This should be the last of the 6mm, right? Yeah, the rest is 4mm, and then 10mm I will absolutely have to use, like, as a hot knife, or I'll have to use, probably could just sharpen this, or break it and get, like, actually I should probably just get a new blade and toss out this blade, because I don't know how old this one is. So I can replace the blade. I think I may have bought more foam than I need. I do also have to get, I think I have one, but I have to get a PVC pipe with a handle. I'm trying to, I think I'm gonna get, I have PVC, but it's not thick enough. I think I'm gonna get a little bit thicker of a PVC pipe. And I want to get the attachments so that I can break it down and travel with it. After I make the main head of the hammer to see if it's something that would fit in my suitcase. If the main head of the hammer will not fit in my suitcase, you know what, then I'm just gonna use the PVC I have. Because I don't want to try to find a way to break down the hammer every single time, as it has so many pieces. It would be very complicated. And I don't like that idea. I know some people will do that, but that is not something I'm interested in attempting to do, so I'm not going to. I am so close to having all these little pieces cut out, and then I get to trace it again. I think I will trace the paper version out again, though. Let's see here. Come on. Come on, I want to show the world that I can actually cut a gear with scissors. And then I'm going to need to Dremel it to make it a little bit smoother, but it's not too bad. Probably should go get my scissor sharpener, so because my scissor is beginning to lose its strength. I can feel it as I'm trying to cut. It's like kind of. I have scissor sharpeners just right over there. So. Okay. Yeah. Okay. You need a little pick me up, don't you, little scissor? Okay, I did it. I have a gear. I cut the gear out, and it looks pretty good, actually. Yay! The other side's not too bad either. It's a little wonky on one side, but I have a gear. Okay, now we have to cut out another gear. But let me get my scissor sharpener before I do that. So I can sharpen my scissors. And if you guys have never seen anyone sharpen scissors, congratulations, you get to see what it looks like. There are different ways, but this is my preferred way. Oops, and my pants are falling down. That's not attractive. Okay, here's my fabric. Sharpener should be here. Where are you? Where'd you go? You're in this box. Yes. Where are you in this box? What? Give me my sharpener. Is it fall somewhere? No! Please don't tell me I misplaced the scissor sharpeners. I'm gonna be so sad. Eat. Oh gosh. I have a box over here with a whole bunch of sewing and supplies. My sharpener just always put into it. Alright, there's one other place I can look, guys. If I don't have scissor sharpeners, this is gonna make my life considerably more difficult this weekend. I don't see a in the scissor box. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna look one more place. You guys are just seeing. I'm just talking and it's just like nothing. Like where's the person? Where's the cabin? Where's my tool container? There we go. I got my other tool container. Okay, time. You guys probably hear all this like choo 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 choo. What is she doing? Sorry, I'm trying to find the sharpeners that have run away. This is the one curse of when you organize stuff and then you're like, I don't know where I put them. I found them! Oh my gosh. I was about to freak out because I was down to the last drawer. The absolute last drawer. I found them. Okay. Okay. No, I'm no longer scared. These are my scissors. Just put them in an adventure. So you take your scissors, you slide them in, and then you pull out. Slide them in, pull out. This looks so inappropriate. Don't look. But that is how. And I tend to use, like, you want the same brand. This is Fiskars. This is Fiskars. And that's how I sharpen. It also takes and it removes any product. There are essentially sharpening stones on the top side and bottom side. So as you're going in, it's removing stuff, and as you're pulling out, it's sharpening. So these are sharpeners. And it's nice and handy because you can just hold it with your hand and it won't cut you. I swear by these scissor sharpeners. Okay. Look at your comments. You didn't have to do any cooking, yeah. I just got a message. Oh, I'm studying for the CompTIA Plus and a couple other cybersecurity groups to just keep myself informed as I grow in information security. And my training module is telling me that I haven't studied yet today. And I'm also studying Spanish, speaking it better. Like, I can read it pretty decently, but I can't speak it with a craft. Like, I have this disconnect, so I've been using Busu, which has natural language speakers from Mexico and Española, or Spain, and it's been very helpful. So, yeah, I can lower the music volume. You guys said it was a little bit loud. Let's see. Apologies. Alright, is that better? Can you tell me if the music volume's better? There. Or can you not hear the music volume at all now? Okay. I think I adjusted my volume. Can you guys still hear me speaking? Looks like you can. Okay, cool. Hi. Hi. You just see thighs. Like, I have been up and down so much today, like the sides of my feet are gonna get angry at me soon. They're gonna be like, you cannot keep jumping up and down. You're not strong enough for that. You're drinking water. It's not. It's lime juice with sparkling water. Which, maybe that's what the beer drinking water is in Fallout. Who knows? Okay, so my phone did freeze. Oh, it's already been an hour? Whoa, okay. I did not realize it had been an hour already. Okay, well, let's get another gear cut out, and then I guess we'll go for one more hour. And then I'm gonna call it quits, and I'll just keep documenting all the chaos for you guys. The little collection of pieces I have over here, and then the scraps, and then all the foam. And if that's how much foam I might potentially go through if I mess up. And in case you're interested, do you see all this foam here? This is $100 worth of foam. So you can get a lot of foam. A lot of foam. $100 worth of foam. You can get a lot. And like I said, I got it from Cosplay Pros. And they're based out of Happy Valley. Hello! Alright, this second gear, second one to trace. Then we're done with the insane 6mm, and we can go into ye old pile of 4mm. Like, there is a lot in here to cut out. Maybe we'll get through that And then what I could do is I can trace on the 10mm and show you guys what I'm gonna do for like how I'm gonna cut it. I could try cutting it because the black 10mm foam I have is pretty good, but the let me show you the difference. So I told you guys I have a really my foot. I have a really thick piece of foam. So let me show you. This is 18mm foam. This on top is 10mm foam. So I don't know if you can see the difference there, but 18mm is, like I said, almost double. So this has to be cut with a hot knife. There is no way for me to cut through this with a normal knife. This with some pressure, the 10mm, I'm pretty sure I can cut through. So I might be able to do this on screen with you guys, at least one or two of them. But the 18mm, the one that has to be super thick, nope, there's absolutely no way. That one, 100% is gonna be done outside of the camera because I'm gonna need to put it in a space where I can ventilate better. Okay. I was like, where did I put my marker? Okay. Just one more time to trace. Is anybody doing anything special for Valentine's Day today? If you celebrate it? Going out somewhere fun? Spending time with your partner? Or partners? No judgment here. Let me know. Oh, I do have some cool news. I found out the other day that I will be teaching at Costume College this year. I'm very excited about that. I haven't ever had an opportunity to go to Costume College. I've always wanted to. And then I had someone tell me, hey, with your skill set and with how much you've presented at conventions, you should try being a teacher at Costume College instead of an attendee and see if you can teach people about like the makeup stuff you do. Okay. So I submitted 3 classes, 1 workshop and 2 lectures, and they were all accepted. So I'm sorry if I'm still out of breath a little bit. My sinus infection is almost gone, but off and on I have lingering effects. It's mostly that my nasal passages are still a little swollen, so breathing in, it actually takes significant work, which sucks. But yay for treatment that has helped it. I am so close to finishing tracing this. This particular gear was the one that I was pretty concerned about, along with the tiny one that has to be out of the really thick foam. Those two are like, okay, if I mess these up, I need extra foam because they're just tricky, right? They're complicated patterns, and I don't want to screw it up too bad. So, did it catch up? It did. There we go. Oh, crafting while watching me craft. Hi! Enjoy crafting. It is... That's pretty meta right there. No, I do that a lot too when I'm like crafting, but I'm not streaming. And I'm all alone in my house, and I just need another voice, you know, because my cat, he snores, but it's like sometimes you just need another voice or music or something. And so I'll watch other streamers crafting too, and it's oh, you know what? Oh, this makes my foot feel better. The cardboard, cardboard's nice and soft on my foot. That's a weird statement to make. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut around like I did last time, just to get the excess off. Yeah, watching other people craft while you craft is kind of fun. It's like, it like helps keep you on task. Okay. That's better. Okay. There we go. Getting everything turned around. Oops. Cut straight. There you go. And then do your little curve. There you go. Just making it through. Making it through. Whoa. This takes so much focus, and like if I talk I get all like I mess up. No, you're fine. Get it. Turned around. My hand is not allowed to get tired yet. You still have so much more to cut. Okay? Not allowed to be tired yet. I don't know why it's fun just to like the little leftover bits, or they amuse me for some reason. But this would be really easy to cut if I had one of those hot knives where it's just a thread and you kind of run it through, sort of like a wood cutter where you're cutting out special designs, and it's kind of like that really thin saw. I'm forgetting the name of the machine that does that, unfortunately. It's on a lathe. I don't know why that's something popping in my head, but a bandsaw maybe? Bandsaw, I think. That'd be great if they had a bandsaw for foam. Because we don't really need the strength of the bandsaw, but the agility would be magical. Make cutting out difficult designs like this much easier. But I mean, I'm getting there. I am definitely getting there. So. What are you guys making? I saw Sailor Sakura said you were working on something. What are you working on? Get in there. There we go. I have to submit all of the work in progress for this costume by the end of this month, but Jinx and I are trying to get everything done, honestly, by the end of this week. At least, like, the percentage, like the 75%. So for those of you who don't know, Jinx and I are trying to compete at WonderCon. And there are deadlines you have to meet. And look, I've got another gear cut out. You can't really share a whole lot of your work in progress when you compete at WonderCon. So I'll only be able to show bits and pieces of this before I have to be quiet. And that's mostly, and I get it, because they want you to be able to like surprise the audience. So they don't really want you to post finished images of like what it looks like online, or stream it or stuff like that. So I'm only kind of going to be able to show these basic first bits of things, and I work very fast, so this may be like, oh my gosh, but you have to have it done. I'm like, yeah, no, I work incredibly fast. I did all the planning for this for the past 2 months, and that's why I'm not too concerned. I did the planning and contemplation and everything else, and with me, when I have the planning complete, everything else just falls into place very easily. So I'm going to tape this side too because it's popping up too much. I'm not very concerned at all about having this done within the next, at least the base layers required for work in progress, within the next week or less. I might even have it done, a lot done by Monday. Oh, hi! Hi, Zeke! Come here. Come here. Want to come say hello? Come here. Okay. Go get your food then. Bye. Changing out the ribbon on the skirt in darker pink, and then iron on vinyl patterns. Oh, cool, wings. And then Kevin's done some cleaning and a bike ride. Yeah. Hi. Hi, Kevin. And And then I think I caught up to that. Yeah, Zeke. Zeke is being himself. Zeke the cat. You guys have probably seen him on my feed a few times. Some of you have met him in person. Cat. You know what? He is a person, okay? He thinks he's a person. If you've ever met this cat, he really does think he's a person. Alright, so we're going back to the 4mm. Let's see how much we can get on this. Oh no, I have to go to the extra stinky Sharpie now. No! The silver Sharpie is really smelly. Maybe I should just do like the white deco thingy. That might be... It doesn't smell, so I might just do this. It's technically a fabric marker, but who cares? Alright, so let me start with a lot of the tinier ones. Let's take the big pieces out. The tiny pieces are like obnoxious. Or I guess I could do the big pieces and then you guys don't have to see, because you probably can't see me cut out the tiny pieces, so they'll be like, what is she doing? She's cutting out air. Okay. Yeah, these all need to be strips that are cut out. It's gonna suck. Okay, we'll do these. And then we'll do the tiniest ones later. Okay, so I guess we'll start with the big one. Big curvy boy. Curve. Like a curve will fit here. I can put it right on this edge. Yeah. Get it to line up on that edge. Perfect. Okay. Let's get this marker working. There we go. Yeah, yeah, the white marker easier to see too, so come on, get your ink out. Probably should get a new one of these markers. I've had this one a long time and I've used it for a lot of fabrics, like weathering and highlights, so it's just getting old. And the paint inside these paint markers does dry up over time, unfortunately. Okay, am I supposed to cut 2 of these or 1 of these? Core foam layer, 5mm. I think it just looks like it's 1 of these. Okay. So I'll cut this one out very carefully. At least, like I said, the 4mm foam is significantly easier to cut. So much easier. The 2mm foam cuts like butter. 4mm foam's a little bit tougher. It's more like cutting through thin leather. 6mm is like cutting through hide, which is requires a lot of hand strength and wrist strength. 10mm, 8mm, nope. Good luck. You're gonna need like a razor blade. Okay, there's one. That was so fast. It's so nice when it's fast and gratifying, and then you're like, yay, I cut a piece out, I'm done. And then you have more to cut out, so you're not actually done, but it's okay. Okay, I think I'm gonna put it here on the edge. I think I'll do that. Put it on this edge right here. Okay. Yeah, I know it's a good day to craft. The weather's nice today out here in Arizona. It's back in the 60s and 70s again. It was in the 80s briefly due to like a storm front, and then it just dropped back down. Apparently it's supposed to be in the lower temps for a couple more weeks before we start heading back into our standard 80s. So there you go. Just one of these. Carrying this out so carefully. There we go. And probably gonna get a little bit of paint on my scissors, but it's okay. I can clean it off with the scissor sharpener. There. Okay. Where? Wait. I didn't. Wait, yeah. Right? Yes, we're good. Okay. This side. Oop. Another one. And I'm gonna get. Do we have? I've got some small ones that will probably fit in all of these. All these little pieces here. So let's start going through those. And there's another curve here. Just pull a layer. Okay, we'll do this one on the edge here. Perfect. Oh, there we go. Getting some paint on some foam so I can make a little curly thing. I'm singing now, you know. But we'll probably wrap up here soon. I'll get some of these 5mm ones cut out, and then we'll wrap up, and then I'll take a break so I can actually feed myself. And then I gotta get back to cutting this all out. My goal is to hopefully have at least all the pieces cut out today. And then tomorrow is to glue all the pieces together. And then Monday is for me to tape my pattern for my over jacket and get it all those pieces cut out and then pinned to see to make sure that the fit works before I cut off the skirt and create another skirt. And have a fake skirt because it's gonna be interesting. Interesting how that one. We have to do a quick change, and so I have to get creative with how I'm gonna do this because I don't want to have too many layers on it. I don't like having too much bulk. Uncomfortable. Oh, am I running out of tape already? Okay, I'm gonna have to go find painter's tape. I need all my pieces to stick together. Alright, this should be enough. Maybe this way? Yeah, this way. Or not. We're gonna have to cut this one out on a thicker piece. Okay, we'll cut out these little ones and then I think we'll call it quits. We need a bigger piece for all these ones. Okay. Just get off of there. Just get off. There. Okay. Do you guys have any plans for President's Day? Or wait, what is it, President's Day? I don't even know what holidays there are anymore. I don't know. I think it's President's because Veterans Day is later in the year, right? I'm obviously crafting. Taking advantage of the time to craft. And I got my whole craft room moved into my bedroom, so that was nice. So I am hosting my parents for a little while. Or a long while. I don't know, I guess we'll find out. So we were having to rearrange my home so they could live with me. And my house is like a revolving door of people. Oh, bless you, kitty! You didn't like that? Oh, is it your house now? Is that it, dude? Okay. He's like eyeballing me right now, like, excuse me? This is my house. Maybe I've just snap taped to... Yeah, I'm running low here, but I think sun's getting real low. Couldn't help that. It was the opportunity, guys. The opportunity was there. Sun's getting real low. And you saw Zeke. He made his debut again to go back into his little bed on my bed. He has a bed right next to my pillow. I guess I'll have to show you guys before I log off. He has a bed right next to my pillow because he will not sleep at night unless his bed is directly next to my pillow, so that he can snuggle up against my face or put his paw on my head or do whatever weird stuff his ancient little kitty butt wants to do. Oh, I have to cut out 8 of these? Maybe I do this on the bigger piece then, because I have to cut out 8 of these ones. Alright, we're just gonna go with solo ones right now. Like, that's a lot. It's a lot to cut out. I was like, wait a second. I don't have enough room on that to cut out 8, but I guess I could cut out that one and then cut out 8 more. Man, there's gonna be so many little pieces. Oh, I know what those are, because those are the ends of the hammer. The little padding areas. Okay, that makes sense. And then let me cut this one out. I try to use as much of the foam as I can. I know that some of these shapes are weird, but since once foam was cut, it's cut. I try really hard to, like, if I have leftover pieces, use them to make repairs to foam that gets damaged, or use them for attachments, or use them for like tiny embellishments. Like all these pieces over here might be used for, there's a couple of embellishments that are really itty bitty, and so I'll probably use those pieces for those embellishments. And then I really need to get more Scotch tape. What are you doing? I think this will fit here. Okay. I don't know if it might go across there without. Yeah, actually, it will. Let's get that even. Let's do this. Yeah, okay. Ooh, there we go. You guys get to see the part of cosplay that's normally hidden. The torture. Most of the people I see crafting online, a lot of them don't really show process of like how long it takes to you know, cut out things and do the work for costumes. They'll just kind of do the quick clips, which makes sense because obviously you don't want someone to spend these 60 plus hours it took you to do something. So I like streaming like this to give you guys an idea. So I mean, I've already done a lot of cutting, but I have so much more cutting to do for this particular hammer and all the pieces that it has, and yet it I mean, I've already been streaming for like what, almost an hour and a half, and I'm this little pile over here of pieces complete. So it just kind of gives you some clarity. I mean, and this, I do this too because I've judged competitions before and I've competed before, and so it's kind of one of those things where I want to remember how much work goes into things and make sure that I'm giving people a fair chance, because it is really hard to do this. You know, it is a lot of work, and it can be really exhausting. Okay, so this needs 8 pieces. I'm gonna put the ones that need extra pieces together. This is one, this is one, this is one, this is one, and then those need 8 pieces. This needs 8 pieces. This is one, this is one, 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 and one. Okay, so let's cut out these little curves, and then we will call it a day. Well, I will call it a day with you guys. Oh, I forgot to cut out this one little. Wait, do I have? If I do that, do I have room for all these curves? Yes. Okay. Again, trying to be mindful of how much foam I am using or wasting. Try really hard not to waste any foam. You can also use foam, HD foam, to like fill pillows or stuff costumes, or like, so if you need to, you could shred it up and turn it into a stiffer filling for fluffy parts of cosplay. So try to use as much of it as you can. I need more of you. And I only cut 1, so I gotta cut 6, 7 more. 7, I can count. Oh no, I did 6, 7. No! No children in the comments better come for me. I don't know what it is with that 6-7 thing. Oh, I think it's what, game reference, if I recall correctly. But alas, it's a game. I do not play Fortnite, I think. I know, people are like, how dare you not play Fortnite? Like, I have too many games already on my list. And then I have also comfort games. And comfort games usually take priority for me because my day job is stressful. In a good way. In a good way. I help a lot of people, but it's also like, ugh, be very stressful. So, oh my gosh, this is a really tight curve. Cutting it on foam is going to be interesting, but I can do it. This is a tiny, tiny little, I'll just show you in a second once I finish cutting up the moon. It's a little tiny half moon. There's a couple of these like little horseshoe shapes. This one I think is a little bit, I guess for the same size. Oh no, it's a little bit longer. Just a little bit. Okay. Stay. And get that there. Quiet, phone. Why are you sass talking to me? Phone's just over here talking trash. Ooh, here we go. Okay, I've got that curve drawn. It's curve cut out. This is a very, very tight curve. So I gotta be real cautious with this, just to make sure I don't mess it up. And the inside curve's the one that's gonna make me nervous. I think I'll cut the inside curve in a second, once I've gotten the primary out. Here we go. The great thing about the paint marker is it gets like a perfect outline of the paper. The Sharpie can easily get under the paper, but the paint marker just kind of seeps over and through it a little bit. It's got like a little tiny cone head. There we go. The curse of curves is sometimes you get them maxed into little tiny cone heads. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. Yay for phone being flexible. Ah, okay. And I have a little horseshoe. Okay, no, but with a little bit of some Dremel and hope. Dremel. Oh, and I ran out of tape. No. Okay. Well, we're gonna have to hope the other bits stay together. Okay. Oh wait, I need this to be attached to itself. There. Some questions. President's Day Monday, D&D and crafting. Okay, cool. D&D and crafting. Sorry, I just got a message. I gotta check on it. Hang on a second. Oops. Okay, that's why it's freaking out. Come on, phone. Let's see here. Okay. All right. My mom apparently is having somebody come over and buy a piece of furniture, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm sort of in the middle of streaming. So let's get these last two little curves done so that I can go help her with that. Okay, guys, I'm 50% of the way through cutting though. That's great. It's just there's so many little pieces with this hammer. But hey, it could be a lot worse, right? Okay, it's a very weird curve. think it'll fit right here. Okay, come on, you can do it. Get the little drawing in there. I know, I know. I'm gonna stick to the paper so bad. Please don't stick to the paper. This is a very, very thin U curve. I'm nervous about cutting this one out. But I can do it. At least it's wider. Like, has a wider arc than the other one did. I think this last one will fit right here just fine. Okay. Having hiccups today is annoying. Cutting all this stuff out is so much work. But it's worth it, guys. It's worth it to have a costume. And then we'll be doing another craft crew stream on the 14th of March. And then we'll take a little bit of a break from craft crew in April and come back in May. I think that's how I have it. I'll double check, but I'm thinking I think that's how we did it. Okay, and just stay as a friend. We don't have any more tape, so you're just gonna have to rely on one another. You'll be the only ones without tape over here anyways, so okay, until I go find my painter's tape. Or maybe I just go ride my bike. I don't have a car, so I might just take my e-bike out and get some Scotch tape. I have packing tape, but that can potentially tear foam because it's a little too strong, so I'd rather stick to the Scotch. That Scotch. Oh. Let's not sneeze in stream. I thought with me having my HEPA filter on it would help, but apparently not. Apparently my sinuses are still very angry with me. The little keyhole. Why are you not cutting out the keyhole? I have to sharpen my scissors again. When you're doing foam cutting, whether you're using scissors or a blade, you will find you'll have to sharpen pretty often. They dull blades very quickly. There we go. Okay, last little horseshoe before I sign off for the day, guys. Last little horseshoe. Okay. And I'm almost out of white paint, so I might have to go back to my stinky. Or when I get Scotch tape, I just get another fabric marker. It's not a bad idea. I wish Joanne was still around. That would make my life so much easier. Instead, I'm gonna have to ride my bike further. Oh well. Oh well. Okay. Come on. Come on. Come on. Get that curve. Okay, good. Alright. Alright. The last little curve for this stream. And then I get to cut out more curves on my own later. Yay. But like I said, first I gotta help with apparently this furniture sale. And then also get myself some food. Gotta keep my energy up. And then if there's anything you guys want to see us do on the craft stream, feel free to comment about it. Say, hey, I'd like to see this in the craft stream sometime. Can you guys do this? We are more than happy to bring out certain skill sets and do demonstrations and kind of help out with your cosplay woes. Okay. I have a nice little pile of cutout items with you guys' help from as I have to maneuver myself awkwardly because I've put myself in a weird situation over here where I can't get access to things easily. Okay, hold this, and then you can see, there we go, the pile of things that have been cut out so far today. And then I just have a small pile of the 10mm, and then I've got another like 20 pieces to cut out here, and then I just have the 2 really big ones that have to be cut out of the 18mm. So thank you guys for joining me on my stream today as I awkwardly get up and hobble over. Okay, you guys wanted to see my cat. I don't know if you can see him. There he is. That's his little bed next to my pillow. He has to sleep by mom, or he gets very upset. Like, seriously, he actually gets upset. Let me put this back over here. Put this back on pull my seat out, sit on a normal seat for a little while, and not like the most painful seat ever. Okay, so thank you again for joining me today. If you, again, have any ideas or questions or anything else, let us know. Kind of craftception, yeah. Craftception. But thank you once more. We will see you tomorrow for the Mass Effect stream that we do every week. And then we will, I believe Jinx has some streams going on next week as well. So have a wonderful Valentine's Day. Thank you for joining me on the stream. And if you have any suggestions, let us know. Otherwise, be seeing you around. Oh, like, hey, hang on. I don't know if you can see this, but like, there's just like Sharpie all over my. Alright. Bye, guys.